Hello everyone, 4am 49 is back again, and once again it's good news, as James May might say. We've picked up another win, at least it looks like it. There's 2 minutes left on the clock, but as it stands with a 26-8 lead, even the Niners would struggle to blow that. What can we say? I have my doubts about this one. We haven't won in Cleveland since 1984. Admittedly, we've only played there 5 times, but still, some horrific memories of losing to teams run by Johnny Manziel and, a few other bits and bats. I seem to recall losing to Manziel was like the death knell for my support for Jim Harbaugh back in the day. I'll talk about that one day, but my overriding argument with Jim Harbaugh is that it wasn't so much that we let him go. I felt he was losing his effectiveness anyway. It was the fact that we tried to replace him with Jim Tomsula and then Chip Kelly. But let's not rehash the past. Let's talk about the now. The Niners going to 9-4, which is great news. I still think we're probably going to have to win out to get in, to be certain of the playoffs at least. And we got some pretty tough games coming up. We got we got the Titans, but it's after the bye, and then we got the Colts, Bears, and Seahawks, which is a pretty nasty triple to end the season on. I still can't shake the feeling that the Seahawks game is going to ultimately be what decides whether we go to the playoffs or not. It just seems fated somehow. But let's talk about today. I mean, like I said, I was a little bit unsure about the game coming in because we don't normally play very well, A, on the East Coast, B, against Cleveland. There was a lot of things that worried me a little coming into that one, but we did our job, I think. I don't think there's going to be a ton of things that'll be well remembered from this, but shout out to the special teams unit. I'm going to talk a little bit about that this week in my columns with Sidelinr Sports and Niner Noise, if they let me, of course. Well, Sidelinr Sports will, because I can write about what I want. But yeah, special teams, big return, some big plays, recovered fumble on a punt. Little things, little things. Brent Boyer, who they brought in the off-season to fix our horrendous special teams unit, has really done a good job. I wouldn't say he's made us one of the top special teams units in the NFL, but he's certainly made us a better special teams unit. And I think all they needed to be was average, and I think that's probably about where they are now. But they're starting to make a few plays. Sky Moore deserves a lot of credit. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Sky Moore is a big play threat in both senses of the word. He can either make a big play for us or the opposition. Fortunately, at the moment, he's comfortably in the plus column, so that's good news. Defense generally okay. Was a little worried with the run defense late in the first half, the 9 straight runs or whatever it was leading up to the Browns touchdown. But I think in general they've done a pretty fine job. They've kept Shedeur Sanders from doing anything too spectacular, which is good because I don't want to hear about him all week in the press because I don't think he's very good. And I think if his name was Shedeur Smith, we wouldn't be spending anywhere near as much time extolling his potential. But that's just my opinion. I'm equally pleased that Brock Purdy followed up with a superb game because I'm sick to death of people talking about, oh, we had 3 turnovers last week and blah, 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 whatever. No one cares. The mark of a good player is what they do after, you know, um, after a bad performance. Even though I don't think his second half was that bad, I thought he was excellent today. He balled out when he needed to ball out. Big drive before half time to put us up. I think that did a lot for our confidence. And a couple of big drives in the second half, pretty good overall. Good day for Juwan Jennings. Excellent day for George Kittle. Nothing new there. Good day for the O-line eventually. Bit slow. Trent Williams might want a few plays back here and there, but I think we were fine. Defensively, Keion White stood out for me. Some really nice plays on the D-line. Dee Winters led the team in tackles. I thought Curtis Robinson bounced back nicely after a tough game last week. Malik Mustafa was everywhere, which is always good news. And yeah, just generally a really solid performance. We don't always have these, and we certainly don't always have them in the Eastern time zone in games we should win. So In terms of putting our season on track, I think it's massive. And when you look down and you see that Carolina have beaten Los Angeles, that actually really opens up two routes to the playoffs for us because the West is kind of open again now. So, interesting one. I think the ideal would be to go into week 18 where beating the Seahawks wins you the division, and whether you win or not, you're in because you've got a wild card. I think that would be nice. That's a lot to ask, though, and there's a lot of games to go yet. The Colts and the Bears will be tough. The Titans might even be tough. I think they'll fight pretty hard. But it's a bye week next week, so we'll get a little chance to rest. I'll be writing about a bunch of stuff this week, and I'll probably come back with a little summary of the bye week and a look forward to the week after. And yeah, thanks to all of you that keep supporting me, keep commenting, keep liking, keep giving me things to do. You know where to find me if you want to talk to me, you want to read more of my stuff. It's been really fun so far. I hope we can keep it going, and it's a fun season. So yeah, check out my stuff on Sidelinr Sports and Niner Noise this week, and we'll see where the rest of the season takes us. But hey, it's always nice when we get a win, and it's even nicer when it's the early game on a Sunday, because now it's 9 p.m. I can watch the late games in peace, and I can quite happily look at San Francisco making some noise in the NFC West. So yeah, I'll see you again soon, and happy Thanksgiving if you're over the pond, and if you're not, and whether you are or not, go Niners.